What's up, everybody? Dustin from MyFreedomSmokes. Here I'm going to talk about this fancy, new, awesome product. It's the REAPER tank by iJOY. I am the most pleasantly surprised for this product that I have been for almost anything ever, since the iJust 2 was my last big thing. And it's weird to say that, but the iJust 2 really changed the game for me. This has changed it again. This is another extremely reasonably cheap sub-ohm tank that performs, maybe even outperforms some of the other, more expensive, probably twice as expensive tanks out there. It's just killing it for me. I've been using this thing for the past couple of days, got this sample in, and I've just been loving it ever since. Came with a single coil. It was a 0.6 ohm coil. It was a dual coil. Pretty innovative coil, about the size of like a little smaller than a nickel. It's pretty big. Wide open. The juice came in from the top instead of the sides. Normally there was little juice holes drilled like onto the top with the regular, the access hole for the main juice to get in there. But the cotton got wet from these two little entry points on the top instead of like 4 entry points on a cylindrical coil that you're probably used to. That was pretty different for me. Only came with one, so I've been pretty careful with firing this thing up too high. It recommends, it said plus or minus 20%, 30 ohms or 30 watts. So, and then inside the manual it said fire this thing between 27 to 40 watts. I haven't went above 32, but 28 has been my sweet spot. Tons of flavor, no heat at all, so it's just tons of flavor. Very cool, satisfying vape. That's what I do when I'm flavor chasing. But around upwards of 32, 33, 34 watts, that's when you get a little bit of heat with it. And you start getting that satisfying throat hit where you actually feel like you're chucking clouds. But just regular usage, I used it 28 watts for pretty cool. But this thing is probably half the price of most of the name brand tanks out there right now. Extremely cheap, and it works fantastically. That's only at 28 watts, so. And like I said, this thing is dirt cheap. I'm planning on picking up actually a few and just keeping them filled up and with different juices, and so I don't have to constantly wash, change coils, whatever. I can just have 3 or 4 different colored tanks, and yes, they do come in different colors. This one is like a, not an olive green, not a hunter green. I'm not sure what color green you would call this, like a winter green. That's what color most things that smell winter green come out as. So I guess let's call this a winter green. I've also seen black, red, just different colors. So whatever kind of box mod you have, or whatever kind of mod device you're using, you can most likely match the color to your device. So I'm pretty excited for this thing to hit, and I'm pretty excited to see what this does. But like I said, dirt cheap, works phenomenally. It's become my all-day vape as of right now. Since I've been sampling it, I haven't taken it off or used another device, except when having to sample other devices, this is my all-day vape until something beats it. And something has to beat it with killing it with price, killing it with performance. This thing's doing that right now, so something else has to step up. But the REAPER by iJOY, fantastic tank. I'm loving it. Also, you can get a rebuildable deck for it, which I have not used or seen yet, but I'm looking forward to that because, I do love this 0.6 ohm coil that it comes with, but I would love to see how this thing does with some really low builds, some hot builds, and then, crank up the resistance and, lower the wattage a little bit and see if I get some decent flavor builds out of this thing. I'm excited to play with it, but for now, this 0.6 ohm coil that I have is gonna have to do it for me, and it is, so definitely look into this thing whenever you can. But I'm Dustin from MyFreedomSmokes. Thank you for vaping. There you go.